Hi guys, how you going? This is my second part to my video of wanting to repair props at home. In my first video, I'll just go really quickly over what I talked about. In my first video I was talking about a template that I made, a couple of templates that I made to make sure the edges of the props are as uniform as we can get them. It was a very, very basic method of just simply getting some cardboard, tracing out the blade that you know is good, and then simply comparing them to all the other three blades. You can look at the other video on how I did that, and also doing the trailing edge of the blade as well, making sure that they're all the same as well. And after hammering it all straight, with this particular prop, blade number 3 was a little bit bent, so after using this, just a couple of bits of pine, clamped it to my desk, and just simply finding the areas in which I like and just tapping it all straight, whichever way it needed to be. After doing that for a good half an hour or so, gradually and just uniformly over all the blade surface area there, I was able to get it pretty much spot on. This particular video, what I want to talk about is just simply balancing the prop, making sure it's balanced, because there's no point having it straight and then not being able to test to see if it's balanced. And the reason why I wanted to do that was just to make sure that, you know, I want to try and reduce the chances of it wobbling or shaking or shuddering in when I'm using it in the water. So what I did was I made some homemade makeshift prop balancing kit, if you want to call it that. Really, really simple. Basically a block of wood, a couple of bolts, a bracket. I found some brackets lying around, so I just use those. They just keep it upright. And some bearings, or some, actually they are rollerblade wheels. My youngest child no longer I've lubricated them all, so they do run freely and smoothly. I just stole them off my youngest son's rollerblades, which he doesn't use anymore. And essentially we just put the two blocks side by side, and the last bit of the equation is this little shaft. This is what the prop sits on. The shaft itself I just got from a local hardware store. It was only a couple of bucks. I actually had this nut in a box of spare or miscellaneous nuts and bolts that I had, so I found that. I was quite lucky. And a couple of conduit reducers. They were 20 to 16 mil reducers. I just put two of them together, kind of clamped them up really tight, and they just sit nice and snugly on this shaft. They're actually different sizes, and the reason for that is because this particular shaft is a tapered shaft. It is just here 1 1/8 of an inch. So what I do is I put this in. If you can see, I just put that in straight like that, and in fact that holds the whole blade quite tight. I could actually just tighten that up a little bit more. I'll just do so. If you jam it in there, it's quite tight. And that allows it to sit on the prop balancer nice and nice and snugly. Now, what the prop balancer is supposed to do, or designed to do, is allow you to make sure that the prop itself is statically balanced. And what that means is, if you place a particular blade up the top, by right, if that blade is heavier, that would fall to the bottom. Likewise, if this blade was particularly heavier, it would fall to the bottom like so, and then you'd know that it's a heavier blade, which would make it shake while in the boat. So you'd actually then grind off. I think you grind it from the outside edge of the blade, and just grind it smooth. I mean, you just take a very, very small amount off. Try it again, and you do that over a couple of times, just to make sure that the blade is perfectly balanced. Now I'm very lucky like that. I've numbered all the blades, and I'm very lucky this particular prop, it's perfect. So that's blade number 1 there, it doesn't move. Blade number 2 there, it doesn't move. Blade number 3 there, it doesn't move. So it's quite balanced. It works quite well. So I'm hoping that it's going to be okay in the water. The one last thing that I wanted to do with this, even though I was using the templates before, I wanted to also just measure the prop certain portions of the prop, just to make sure that they're all as accurate as possible. And the way I did that was I just basically got a square. This is an adjustable set square that I have. I just simply placed it flat on the table, tightened up the nut, just like so. And then what I would do is there would just be certain points that I would check with the square. So I would place the prop blade right on the edge there, and then I'd just check number 2, and you'll see that that is perfect. That doesn't touch. They're actually about 1 mil apart. That one there just shaves it. So you'll see there then, there we go. That one there just, it's almost, I mean, I reckon there's probably about 1 millimetre difference between all the blades, which is, personally I think for a home job, I think that's pretty good. You can also check the diameter if you ever really wanted to, not that you'd ever need to, but I mean, ultimately if you put it this way, you could check the diameter of the prop there just to, not that it would ever even change, I don't think, but you can see that they're all, let me just make that right there, right there, and right there. Yeah, I mean, it's all pretty much identical. I also use it to check the front edge of the blade. Oh, actually, let me just straighten up this prop, move it over a bit. I used it also to check the front. I don't know if you can see it that way. Maybe you'll see it better if I turn it this way. So I used the square just to check the front of the blade. So if I pop it, say, around there, I can see that that is just about right. There, 3. That is just about perfect there. That's just about perfect there. And that's about 1 mil out there. I could probably bend that a little bit more, to be honest. But it just goes to show that it's a really simple way of just checking it. Now, I mean, one of these blades, actually blade number 3, was about 4 or 5 mil out, and now looks like that particular part of blade number 1 might be a fraction out as well. But I mean, it's a really good way of just double checking and confirming how your prop is, if it's balanced, and also if it is the shape of the blades, and to make sure that they're all as close as you can get. Obviously, I'd probably prefer to take it to a prop place, but the reason why I'm talking about this, or the reason why I wanted to just talk about these videos or show you these, is just simply, I mean, I'll keep these. I'll take these up to the lake whenever. I'll just put them in a little bag here. I'll just take them up to the lake, so if I ever hit a stump and there is a big bend in the prop, I can just whip these out. I mean, all I need is a flat surface. I've got all the tools with me, and I'll be able to straighten it all up and get it as good as possible, rather than having to take it to the mechanics or to the boat store and get them to sort it out. Usually it can take a couple of days to get a prop back. So it's just a really good way of being able to get yourself out of a bit of trouble, straighten up your prop, get it as close to 100% as possible, and allow yourself to enjoy the rest of your weekend skiing. So hope you found it interesting, hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching.